Hey Max.
Hello. You
Hello.
alright? How's it going?
Good man, you alright?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Nice. Mate, I don't know what's going on. It's meant to have like about 18 people join. There's 16. I don't know what's going on.
Uh, I mean, it's better than like the 8 we had.
Oh god, a couple
Yeah,
of weeks ago, yeah.
yeah, that's rough. But yeah, at least we have some people. Oh, it's France. I didn't even check the track.
Yeah,
Uh,
poor card. I was commentating here a couple of nights ago as well on ACC, so
oh
I've
yeah,
literally just been watching cars drive around a massive maze.
a massive maze.
It's literally what it
Oh, I
is. It's
despise
purgatorial,
this
this
track.
track.
I
Same
hate this
here.
track so
I can't
much.
stand it. I honestly,
Yeah,
I hate it with a passion.
thank
Every
God it's gone.
corner looks the fucking same.
Yeah, thank God it's gone this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost no elevation. It's so wide. The distance to walls is like to Mars, and yeah, it's just unneeded.
Honestly, anybody who enjoys or likes this track has got something like
God.
psychologically wrong with them. I think.
Yeah.
I think you could actually find out like you can find out who are the problem people in society just by the people who enjoy this track. It's just a
Just a
way of
survey,
knowing.
like, do you like Paul Ricard? You're insane.
Do you enjoy driving this track? Yes, right. That's something wrong with you. Yeah, we need to get you out of the gene pool now.
Into oh, I'm my line. Into therapy you go.
Yeah. Basically.
Here we go then. Gel ram. Why is it Mercedes?
My computer is going painfully slow. I don't even know if we're gonna have the stream up by the time. I can't even load
Oh
my
no.
YouTube studio up. It's just not loading. The computer is just taking forever to do anything. So obviously I'll keep you posted, but I don't know what to do. This is painful. This is so painful. It's like I'm saying, literally just wanting to smack this screen into pieces, but I
Yeah.
know if I do that, it's just going to make it worse.
Yeah. Oh, it'll happen eventually, if it does.
Well, yeah, if.
So we've got one Red Bull. Who's the other? Was it Vincent? That's the other Red
Paige is not responding. I mean, no, really?
Bull.
You sure?
That'll work. Swank.
Yeah, just hit the enter button over and over again.
Wake up.
Oh, come on, man. What is going on? Seriously, what's going on? This is crazy. The computer's just decided to stop.
Oh, that's not ideal.
Mate, I reckon we probably got about 3 minutes until we go lights out at where we're at right now, and the computer is completely frozen. There's nothing more that I want to see than this screen completely pulverised right now. But I'm just having to control myself.
Resist it. It's
I
not
just want to
worth
see this screen completely and utterly bashed to
not worth
pieces.
it.
I want to see it. I want to see it in pain. I want to see it in pieces.
That's a lot of frustration.
Oh man, this is actually winding me this is really winding me up. What is wrong with this computer? Seriously, what's going
Stopped.
on?
It's just frozen.
What is going on? I need to attach the thumbnail. I need to change the title. I need to change the description. I can't do any of it because the computer's just frozen. If it wasn't for the fact that, honestly, if I wasn't on the mic to you right now, I would be bashing it to pieces. I'm not even joking. The screen's already come half off.
Oh, good. Because I don't need that.
Yeah. Oh my god. I have to remember to edit this stream afterwards. Thing is,
Yeah,
I've clicked to close this tab, so I mean I don't know whether it's going to close in a minute because I did click the cross.
oh, oh
So
god.
this tab that I'm on right now, that's now starting to work, might be about to close. This is really painful. We might have to come in on like lap 1 or something.
That's fine. I popped in a couple of nights ago on news to see that races like an hour long.
Say again?
I popped in a couple of nights ago on the ACC stream. Aren't they like an hour long races?
Sundays are, yeah. So the sprint ones we do on Wednesday are half an hour with no pit stop. And then you got 2 tiers for the Sunday one. Yeah. 1 hour races, mandatory pit, any time in the race. What are you thinking of jumping in?
Maybe. I haven't played ACC in so long.
I should jump in. It's a good night on Sunday. It's yeah, loads of people turn up. The standard is ridiculously high though, because it's been going now for a few seasons, and there's 2 tiers and everything. So the top tier is insanely good. The drivers in there.
How many? Like, what the numbers? Is like over 20?
Yeah, it's 20 plus always. Sometimes 25.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
PC, yeah.
No, PS5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't do anything on PC. We're not even on PC. There was a plan to be at one point, but didn't really happen.
I have to jump in for a couple. Probably not from C6 but like between F1 and ACC.
Yeah. Well, we might actually be ready just about on time here, because I'm almost ready to put the description in. Just need to change France, round 11, not 10. Update thumbnail, come on, we might actually just get there. Come on, hurry up. Oh, just hurry up, come on. Sorry.
It's fine.
Right, come on, let me make it public. Come on, save. Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. We are moments away from the start of the French Grand Prix here at Motive. I'm going to hand over to Max because I've got to sort out this stream here and make sure it's up and running. So, Max, over to you for the start.
Okay, on the start for the start of the Paul Ricard Grand Prix here in France. I think the whole grid is almost sorting themselves out as we head on to the lights. Everyone is going to be staring at the lights here. The 16 drivers that we have here tonight for Motive Racing, round 11 here at France. We've got 3 drivers disqualified for incorrect positioning on the grid. But any time now we will have the lights for the French Grand Prix, as we have Mike at PKF1 in the Ferrari and Pole, Little Grooving completing the front row. Hey, we get with P3 actually on the grid. That's very good at the start. But here we go for the lights on the French Grand Prix here at Motive Racing for the sprint race. And it's sometime anytime now. As the cars rev up the engines, it's lights out and away we go for French Grand Prix sprint race. Mike gets off for a good start. Little Green.
Safety car's out already. What's going on?
Already? Oh, what a race! This is absolutely scintillating action for the viewers. As the safety car comes out on before the cars reach turn 1. So that is an absolutely beautiful race so far.
Has anybody made any moves? I'm interested to see if anybody actually overtook anyone else.
Hey, gets trying to take out the McLaren, and she's in the lead.
Yeah, I don't know how that's happened. You're not supposed to gain positions under the safety car. I think that's a given.
She was hitting the McLaren. I don't know what's happened there. She's going to get a penalty shortly.
I would have thought so.
Good start to the race, I guess. I'm kind of speechless.
That's a horrific start. I mean, first of all, they were lined up on the grid for about a minute, and then after they were lined up on the grid for about a minute, then the lights took about another 30 seconds to go out, and then eventually we get off the line, and the safety car's already peeling out of the pits. So,
I've had a safety car at Spain, like halfway down the straight. That's the earliest I've ever got it. Not before the race has even started.
Oh no, I've seen this one time before in the OG League actually, when I used to do their comms on a Wednesday and a Sunday, and I remember for some reason it happened there as well, and it was just it's a real buzzkill because obviously the race start is the most exciting part of an F1 race. So when you get robbed of that sort of that instant gratification, that excitement at the start of a race, it's a bit of a downer. But currently we're here on lap 1 here at Motive. Nonetheless, we're going to do a minimum of 2 laps under the safety car. So I imagine we'll probably be going to the end of lap 2 because we don't usually go at the end of lap 1. Usually a safety car period can't only be 1 lap. Is that right or is it not? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's about 2 laps because it cannot end on the same lap. So yeah, I think it's minimum 2 laps. We'd have to see though. And the safety car looks like it's going so slow. I'm looking at the onboard of the leader, Mike, and it looks like it's going very, very slowly. So
I'll tell you what.
This is real life. The drivers will be shouting at Burt Maylander to go quicker. But yeah, it's out for another lap.
Yeah, this is going to be a very painful rolling start because obviously their tyres are going to be freezing cold, and I reckon there's going to be a few incidents here. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But nonetheless, guys, if you're just joining us here at Motive for the F1 League round 11 here of a 21 round season here for season 5, and we're just coming around the start finish straight. The safety car actually came out onto the track straight away as soon as the lights went out at the head of the grid. The safety car was already peeling out of the pits, which meant that the pack just joined behind the queue. Nobody actually knows the reason why the safety car is out. Not a single soul on this earth knows why the safety car peeled out of the pits at the same time that the pack was going into turn 1. It's the biggest mystery I think we've ever seen here on a Friday night in this F1 League. It really is quite peculiar, but right now the drivers are just sort of going with the flow, I guess. You know, there's no need to sort of question it or panic, I suppose. It is what it is. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but yeah. A very, very strange situation tonight here at Paul Ricard.
He's taken the opportunity to get us fresh set tyres actually. I don't know, he's on softs, so he's going to have to make those tyres last for 7 laps.
Yeah,
so
well.
Obviously, if he didn't already have like a second pace advantage he did in qualifying, I saw, it's going to be a little bit quick, so definitely wants to watch Joel.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the DRS won't be open until, what is it, lap 5 it'll be now with the safety car. So he won't find it too easy to make his way through, but yeah, for sure, he's a man who knows how to navigate his way through the twisty sections of this Paul Ricard circuit. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Yoma get into the top, I don't know, maybe the top 5. Top 3 could be a bit of a push. We'll have to see what Mike, HG Baguette and Neil Greavy can do. But yeah, for sure, this sprint race is set to start in a few moments, guys. We were robbed of a solid first couple of laps down to the fact that the bit of a glitch in the game. Safety car decided that it wanted to get involved in the action. One driver I'm quite surprised about actually in the one-shot quali, GGJ. He qualified in 8th place. Really, real surprise there for him.
I don't know which one it was, into turn 3, into a right-hander. He had a massive error actually. I saw him briefly.
Oh.
He was like right to the inside on the entry. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe he was just doing a drill run and trying to get to the back, far as back as he can. But yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna have to.
Very strange.
See him after the race. But yeah.
Definitely so.
It's not in this lap. It's on for another lap.
Yeah, we've actually. Do you know what? I think the last time I saw this glitch was on F1 2021 actually. So it wasn't even on this game. But yeah, like you say, Max, very strange. The safety car is still out. So I mean, if it's not in at the end of this lap, I think we'll have to restart because this is not right.
Yeah, this is not great considering. But if it's not in this lap, it's probably going to be a whole race.
Yeah.
It's crazy how our laps are actually still like counting down.
Well, at the moment they're doing the pace of, I would say, GT4 cars right now. You know, this is like literally just watching like a GT4 race. But obviously with F1 cars, these cars are not supposed to go at these speeds. They're supposed to be battling it out wheel to wheel at 200 miles an hour, going through corners, pulling 5 times the force of gravity. And at the moment, they're certainly not doing that. We have got a few comments coming in on the stream. MN99 says, "What's up, Andy? This is the second time I've had this glitch. I subscribed, by the way. Thank you for something." We've got Matty Pitt there saying we need to restart. Okay, right then. We'll do that now. And this is a real bummer actually because Max, you were already going to commentate on the sprint tonight, but he's got to go. He's got to go and do something.
I've got to go. I'm going out tonight, so yeah. Oh well. I congratulate Joe on winning the race, but no. It'll probably happen, but yeah. Yeah, I hope
He'll get another bite of the cherry with the one-shot quali, so if he wants to qualify this time, he can.
I wish you all luck commentating. Sure, I'm getting voice, but yeah, anyway, I wish you all luck, and good luck to the drivers as well, and now I'll be back next week. No, yeah, I'll be back next week, so yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Cheers, Max, thank you. Right, we've got to jump now, restart the lobby. Right, guys, hang tight, we'll be a few moments. Oh, hold on, wait. Safety car is in this lap. Wait, what? Safety car is in this lap. Well, Max had to shoot off at 7 anyway. I know he's got to go out, so a safety car is in this lap. Matty, are we aborting the restart? Are we going to go with it? Are we going to stick with it? Let us know, Matty. Let us know quickly. Let us know what we're doing. What are we doing? Are we carrying on? Are we restarting? Let us know quickly. Let us know quickly. Just put the AI in and respond. Tell me what we're doing. What are we doing? What are we doing, Matty? Please let me know. Are we cracking on? Gonna go on Matty Pitt's onboard. By the looks of it, he's getting ready for a restart, so I think we're gonna crack on. So here we go then, out of the final corner here for the sprint race. We're about to start the race finally here. As up towards the line we go. When is Mike gonna put his foot to the floor? It looks like he has now, and HG Baguette's been jumped by Little Greavy, so Little Greavy up into P2 as we see Martin there ghosting through HG Baguette. Really strange there. We don't want to be seeing ghosting as HG Baguette there trying to come back at him, but Martin there through into second place. Little Greavy there in third as Bobby Butler's got ahead of HG Baguette up into fourth place. In fact, HG Baguette's losing loads of places here. She's lost out to Matty Pitt as well as she's ghosting through everybody here. What is going on right now? Something is not right at the moment as GGJ moves through ahead of Matty Pitt and V10 Ultra. We can see a bit of wheel banging there going on between a Ferrari and also the Williams of Matty Pitt there as he gets pushed out a little bit. But HG Baguette has dropped down to P12 here on this opening lap. What has gone on with her? She's had an absolute nightmare of a start to this race. It's Mike leading ahead of Martin by over 2 seconds right now, ahead of Little Greavy. Then you've got GGJ running in fourth ahead of Blobby Butler. You've got V10 Ultra and Mr. Basil there batting over P6 and 7. It's crazy. Max has got around the outside of Polish My Balls there, up into P10, and Joram there moving through ahead of Polish My Balls as well. Our three-time champion of Motive Racing's Formula 1 League there, making his way through. Oh, there's a big crash in the foreground there, and Aston Martin there went into a Williams, and Blobby Butler there in the Aston Martin is down to the back, so he's had an absolute nightmare there. Matty Pitt also involved in that one, so absolute carnage here. And I think that might be a safety car, which is the last thing we need. No, it's not actually. By the looks of it, they're going to recover it under a full course caution, possibly a virtual safety car here. Not quite sure. I haven't seen any of the notice boards yet. I think it's no. Oh, it is a VSC. So yeah, so full course caution here for all the drivers. It doesn't look like anybody's coming in for tyres, but I imagine we'll be seeing Blobby Butler at least coming in for damage. But it looks like we're sticking with it. Matty Pitt hasn't said anything else in the chat just yet. Or is he maybe on Discord? Let me just have a quick look at Discord. No, nothing on Discord. Oh, hold on, we got a load of mentions here in the F1 chat. No one's showing up on my player's map, man. For God's sake. Okay, where's Blobby? Oh, for God's sake, my settings have not loaded. What's going on? Oh, you're joking me. Why can't I adjust anything? I want it on custom. Thank you. Is that alright? Jesus Christ. Seems like all my settings have gone. I'd much rather that Matty was doing this, to be honest. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Guys, Seb saying, what did I miss? You missed a botched sprint race due to some glitches and a safety car which came out on the race start. Mark Hill says, hey up guys, it's Deku, have a good race, lads, we'll be watching. Good to see. Welcome Deku. So here we go then. We've just had to manually set the grid. I'm really not good at doing stuff on this F1 game. I don't play the game personally. I love commentating on this game. It's one of my favourite games to commentate on. But I've turned a wheel a couple of times. I did a career mode with my mate Emo Guy, who some of you would have seen racing on this channel over the years. But we only lasted about maybe 6 or 7 races, and after that kind of gave up on it. But yeah, really I haven't played this game much, so the only sort of experience I get is when we do this once a week, setting up lobbies and stuff. So whenever there's an unexpected occurrence or something, it completely and utterly throws me, and there's just nothing I know. I just don't know what to do, basically. I'm just completely lost when it comes to that. But oh well. Nonetheless, we are here. We're getting ready to go for the formation lap at the start of the French Grand Prix here. Round 11 of a 21 round season here for Season 5 on the EA Sports F1 game. As we're now just on the countdown, getting ready to go for the formation lap. It'll be one formation lap before we go, so it won't be straight into the race. We'll be doing the formation followed by the obviously the standing start. As my computer for some reason is now freezing. I haven't even touched it. I haven't even done anything to it. But we got Seb there saying, I hear you, we had this issue at We Are Base Sports on the league final. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the F1 game seems to just do it when you least expect it. It throws up a glitch that you've just never seen before, and yeah, I suppose at this point it's difficult to really be surprised by anything. I think the last time I saw this particular glitch where the safety car comes out at the start was actually, I think it was on F1 2021. So it was quite a while ago now that this happened, but it's the first time I've seen it happen on this game. I'm sure it was on F1 2021 the last time I encountered this glitch. So it shows that it's a problem with the DNA of the coding involving the games, because clearly it goes from one game to the next, so something's clearly gone wrong. It's an issue that needs to be looked into, because it happens on multiple different titles made by the F1 game makers. Obviously it was Codemasters last season, although technically I think EA Sports Codemasters might have had a big hand in developing this game actually though, so potentially it could be a Cody's problem. Maybe EA have got on top of it for the next one. But Felix there in the comments says, hello there, is Max there? Because I thought he was going to commentate tonight. No, he was commentating on a sprint race, but he had to go off at 7, so unfortunately he didn't really even get to finish a race, didn't even get to finish a commentary on a race, because he had to go at 7 anyway. So yeah, he left as we were restarting for the Grand Prix itself. Mike saying he forgot to do his setup. Mike, what do you like? Seb in the comments, no, we had an issue on League of Legends which was so bad we couldn't stream it. Worst part was it was a final €250 on the line. Jesus Christ. Good part was one of the team had a comm team and they streamed it. Well, I suppose that's a silver lining, isn't it? But not what you want. It really just disrupt the flow of what you're trying to do. But glad that it got sorted out to some extent, as we see Martin there losing it coming out of the final corner, and he will not be able to regain his place, I don't think, because or did he keep it on the track the whole time? If he stayed on the track, he should be able to regain his position, but if he went off the track, he won't be able to. I think he might have kept it on the track. Oh no, he loses a place. Oh no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's still P4. So actually, Martin there holding on to his position. But we're lining up on the grid here at Paul Ricard, getting ready to go for round 11 of Season 5 here at Motive for the EA Sports F1 game Formula 1 League here. We are just lining up. We're getting ready to go. The lights coming on now at the head of the grid. And when the lights go out, when you hear that final little beep, you'll see the cars go off the line, and we'll be underway for the French Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. and Mike gets a decent start, manages to keep ahead a little Greavy. As we can see there, Martin getting the jump on HD Baguette off the line, and HD Baguette is going to lose out here to Street Boy as well. So Street Boy around the outside up into P4, but GGJ's made up a couple of places there into 7th place. Crazy Max ahead of Polish My Balls, and somebody spun around. That's an Alpine there around. Mr. Basil there's losing a load of places there. It's dropped down to 17th place in this race, but it's Mike here leading ahead of Little Greavy, followed by Martin as GGJ's picked up another driver into P6. So he's had a great start on his first lap. Costas is out of the race and becomes the first retirement here in this French Grand Prix. We've got a full course caution. Is that a VSC? We'll have to wait and see once we get round to one of these little sort of boards that you see on in the corner of the circuit. But once we see that, we'll know for sure whether it's a VSC or whether it's just a yellow flag. It is a VSC, so everybody slows down. Race is neutralised, so essentially all the gaps, all of the deltas stay the same. We've got Felix there saying would have been lovely to have the duo back again. Yeah, definitely would, but Max should be back next week for round 12, which I don't actually know where it is at the moment, but we're expecting that Max will be back with us here in the comments box for next week, so that'll be good to have him back. And shame he could only really commentate with us for 3 laps under the safety car tonight, being those 3 laps under the in the sprint race under the safety car, which were not supposed to be under the safety car, but unfortunately a little glitch in the game caused that to happen. But yeah, next week we're at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix, so yeah, make sure you join us at the same time as always, because Max will be back in your box alongside your boy once again, so that will be good fun. As it's always enjoyable to commentate with Max. I mean, you know, it makes it a bit easier for me because I'm not like struggling to keep up with the action and blurting out my words as quickly as I can. I can actually sound like a normal human being. But we've got side-by-side action here between HD Baguette and GGJ as GGJ is now looking to the inside, and here we go. He's going to make that move up into P5. Obviously, HD Baguette though trying to squeeze him back out, but GGJ I think he's going to get the move done here coming down towards turn 3. Good racing from these two, and GGJ I think he's got it done here coming into turn 3. Whereas HD Baguette late on the brakes and squeezes him back out there. So good move there from HD Baguette, getting her elbows out, as GGJ might lose out to Matty Pitt here as well. These two are side by side as Matty Pitt managed to squeeze his way through on board with the Ferrari of V10 Ultra behind them. And GGJ does manage to keep ahead of Matty Pitt just about, as Joram here, what a start from him. He's up into P10 after just 1 lap. So Joram here has gone from back of the pack. I put him in P15 because he wanted to start at the back, and he's currently in P10 already. So it's been an electric start here from our 3-time champion, making a reserve appearance tonight. He's not a regular driver anymore, doesn't race with us every week, but he's making a reserve appearance, and he's currently doing a very good job as he picks off V10 Ultra here up into 9th. I think V10 Ultra must have made a mistake. He lost a few places there in that little debacle, as GGJ's now got the move done on HD Baguette, so he now moves through up into 5th place. Totally Zero's got ahead of the Grieve up into 12th as well, so nice stuff there from him. And yeah, position changes going on left, right and centre right now. It's been a very, very packed out start to this race, as we see Mr. Basil there moving through up into 14th place ahead of Crazy Max, so nicely done there from him. Mike still leading though by 1.5 seconds ahead of Little Greavy as we're coming over the line here to complete lap 2 of the race. And GGJ currently on the back of Street Boy here as they're coming down the start finish straight. DRS not enabled just yet, but it will be down the long straight. But GGJ doesn't need DRS. He's going to make that move done nonetheless around the outside into turn 1. So GGJ moves through up into 4th place as Joram picks off another driver here up into 8th place. He is flying through his pack as Street Boy's lost it here coming through turn 2. Street Boy facing the wrong way on the runoff area, and he's going to lose out to practically the whole pack here as they're all coming through. Street Boy there loses out to Mr. Basil as well, and he's down to 14th place here in this race. So that's gone really pear-shaped there for Street Boy, and it's going to be a long way back for him in this race. But currently Mike out the front leading the race on the medium tyres ahead of Little Greavy on the hard tyres. So Little Greavy in a solid position actually on the hard tyres. He's in a very strategically solid position, as Matty Pitt has managed to make the move here on HD Baguette into the chicane. So Matty Pitt up into P5. Eggman, just noticing that on the timing screen, has got a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. So he's obviously been pushing his luck a little bit with those apexes and with those white lines. But currently we're watching this battle for 2nd and 3rd places here. Little Greavy and Martin still separated by not much. Matty Pitt here has still got HD Baguette on the back of him, and Joram looking down the inside of HD Baguette and gets the move done there beautifully there from Joram. Joram up into 6th place here from P15 on the grid, or was it P16? I can't remember. It was near the back. It was by the back nonetheless, and yeah, up into 6th place. So he's been on fire in the first few laps of this race. Really good job from Joram so far here tonight at Paul Ricard. And he's only about, I would say, maybe 6 or 7 seconds off of the race lead at this point, so he could be winning this race here tonight. He's behind Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt's got DRS though. No, he hasn't got DRS actually. And Joram looking down the inside into turn 1. Does he get that move done? Yes, he does. Joram, easy pickings there. Got past Matty Pitt far too easily, and he's up into 5th place. And next up the road is GGJ, his old rival. And these two, we've seen them have great battles over the seasons here at Motive. Back when Joram was a regular in the series, back when he was actually a 3-time champion, or well, he wasn't the last season, he was actually a 2-time champion until he became a 3-time champion. As we see, Little Greavy has lost it here. Little Greavy's had a spin coming through turn 5, and he is down to 7th place as he was in P2 on the hard tyres in a really good position, but right now he's dropped down a few places here. That means that Joram, from by the back of the grid, is now the highest running hard tyre racer here in this Grand Prix, so he's done absolute bits. But Little Greavy there down in P7 behind Matty Pitt and HD Baguette at this point, so an absolute disaster there for Little Greavy. There's no other word for it at the moment, as HD Baguette still sat on the back of Matty Pitt here. These two still running close, not too much separating them at this stage. The Grieve has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Little Greavy's brother not having the race at all, so the Grieve twins, or the Grieve brothers, not sure if they're twins, but the brothers here having a very bad lap here this time around. We have Little Greavy having his spin, and the Grieve picking up a time penalty. It's not gone well here on lap 4 in this race for those two, but the V10 Ultra has lost out to Totally Zero, so Totally Zero is up into 9th place and gets an extra point for his troubles so far in this race. We're still watching HD Baguette here, who's within a second of Matty Pitt, with DRS down the start finish straight, with a little way back coming out of the final corner, but that DRS just brings her that little bit closer once again. But Mike's still erased by 3 seconds. He's pulling out that gap more and more and more here. GGJ running in 3rd place. Joram is lapping quicker than any of the top 3 right now though. He's got the gap down to a second to GGJ. He was a second quicker than GGJ on that previous lap, and on inferior tyres as well, because he started on the hard tyres, GGJ on the medium, so Joram is absolutely flying at this point. What a performance so far from our 3-time champion. He's gone from 15th up into 4th place and looking to try and pick off more drivers here, get himself onto the podium. But GGJ's not going to be letting him past easily, that's for sure. And I wonder if it was a mistake from GGJ that caused that gap to come down by as much as it did, because now he just seems to be keeping the gap at just over a second. So maybe it was a mistake which has dropped him into the clutches of Jalma a little bit here, because that gap looks like it's stabilising here between these two, as you would expect it to, seeing as Joram's on the hard tyres. You'd expect that GGJ would have a pace advantage at this point. As we can see there, the Haas of Little Greavy is closing up onto the back of HD Baguette, should I say, in this battle for P6. So he's getting a bit closer to the back of her right now. And Little Greavy trying to recover lost time after that spin a couple of laps ago. What sort of pace has he got? Obviously the 4 drivers running in from P4 down to P7 are all on the hard tyres. The top 3 on the mediums. So the situation is a bit spread out at this point. As we can see, GGJ's got DRS on Martin coming into turn 1, but a little bit too far away just at the moment. Matty Pitt's still got HD Baguette and Little Greavy in hot pursuit right now as they're coming into turn 1. They've got a bit of a gap here to polish my balls. Totally Zero, they're running in 9th ahead of V10 Ultra. There's Blobby Butler, who's got pressure here from Street Boy in this battle for 11th place. And then everybody else is a bit strung out at the moment. Not really too many battles going on near the back of the order at this point. But Martin still just ahead of GGJ right now in this battle for 2nd. But GGJ and Joram have both been closing up onto the back of Martin here. GGJ, we wanted to get him done as quickly as possible so he doesn't lose out to Joram as well. And GGJ's made that move down the inside coming into the chicane. So GGJ, they're up into 2nd place. Martin's now going to watch out because he's going to have the Mercedes here of Joram in his rearview mirrors. And Joram, it's weird to see Joram in a Mercedes, because obviously for many seasons here at Motive he was actually in a Red Bull, but switching it up for this reserve appearance, obviously he can't drive in a Red Bull because there's already it's technically actually Street Boy is a reserve, so actually he could have gone in the Red Bull, but he's gone in the Mercedes anyways. He's looking down the inside here of Martin. Martin goes a bit wide onto the runoff, and Joram there did not need a second invitation, gets the move done. Martin trying to fight him for this one. Joram going round the outside, beautifully done there from him into the podium positions here. So Joram has gone from 15th on the grid up into 3rd in the space of 6 laps. What an opening to this race, as we see the battle between Matty Pitt and HD Baguette still continuing on, but they have got Little Greavy in hot pursuit right now as they're coming through the final corner. And HD Baguette will definitely have the DRS on Matty Pitt this time around. but not really getting a massive amount of overspeed here coming down towards turn 1. She's going to look to the inside, try and put him off a little bit, but no dice. Has to tuck in for the time being. Mike's still your leader by a second and a half ahead of GGJ. There's Joram ahead of Martin. Matty Pitts still got a train of cars behind him, HD Baguette and Little Greavy. Polish My Balls there running in P8. It's got a couple of seconds back to Totally Zero. Bobby Butler's still close on the back of Street Boy right now in this fight for 11th place in this race. Felix there saying in the comments, to be fair, Joam should be at least P5. This just means he's slow. Well, he's P3, Felix, so I don't quite know what you mean. Or was that might have been a few laps ago actually that he rode up, because I haven't been looking at the comments too recently, but he's currently all over the back of GGJ in this fight for second place. GGJ, we know, will not be letting Joam through easily, because these two are actually quite evenly matched, or at least they were the last time they raced together. Maybe Joam has been making improvements since he's been racing in different leagues, but right now he is right on the back of GGJ as we're coming through the final corner. Can he get a bit of a run here down the start finish straight? GGJ is just outside of DRS on Mike, which is going to mean that he's not going to get that benefit of the rear wing. That will mean that Joam will get that extra benefit on GGJ, but just a little bit too far away coming into turn 1. Did gain a couple of tenths coming down towards the first corner, but GGJ is still ahead of Joam at the moment by not much at all. HD Baguette getting closer to Matty Pitt, but just a little bit too far back coming into turn 1. And Little Greavy in the meantime has dropped it again, because he's now down in 9th place behind Totally 0K. So Little Greavy's had an incident somewhere through the final sector, I think, and he's now down in 9th place. So didn't see what happened to him, but Little Greavy's made a couple of mistakes. Has had a spin earlier on, and I assume another one here, as Crazy Max is out of the race. So he is DNF'd here on lap 8. So we've lost 2 drivers now from this French Grand Prix. Looks like it's just double wave yellow flags through the final sector, so no safety cars, no VSCs. It's just a simple little warning there as the marshals try and recover the cars. Obviously the driver's coming through sector 2 at the moment, so they should hopefully be able to get that sorted out, whatever the problem is. But Mike and GGJ still separated by absolutely nothing here. Joam is right on them as well. Mike goes a little bit wide. GGJ looking underneath him here. Can he get a bit of a run? GGJ's got to be careful attacking here on Mike, because Joam will be looking to try and punish him. And Joam's gone for the move here on GGJ. He might have that with this one done. GGJ keeping himself on the inside there for the next right-hander and manages to squeeze back through again. Joam here looking up the inside. GGJ covers it off. Parks is coming in the right places. Joam now looking to try and get a cutback here out the final corner. GGJ getting a much better exit though, as we're coming down the start finish straight, and GGJ holds on from Joam, and with the DRS here on Mike as well, we'll be able to defend. Now looking to the inside is GGJ into turn 1. Mike holds on for the time being. These three have got Martin a couple of seconds behind them, and if they keep battling, he might fancy a chance of getting onto the podium here if any of these guys end up crashing out or having an incident and getting damage. But Mike, GGJ and Joam coming through the chicane of turn 3 and 4. And Joam has got a 3-second time penalty, and so is Mike, to be fair. I hadn't noticed that. So Mike and Joam here with time penalties. GGJ not with any time penalties to his name so far, so GGJ's been the one that's been keeping his nose clean over the course of the first sort of stint of this race. Polish My Balls has also got a time penalty here, as he's got Little Greavy looking to try and knock him here. These guys just behind Totally Zero as they're coming out onto the long back straight. This Polish My Balls going to be close enough on Totally Zero. I think he's just a little bit too far back as they're coming down towards the braking zone for the chicane. He's going to look up the inside though, I tell you what. There's Totally Zero squeezing him to the inside. Polish My Balls, I think he's going to have it done. Totally Zero managed to hold it around the outside just about, but he might have a compromised exit here, as Little Greavy's now going to mug Polish My Balls on the exit of the chicane and moves himself up into 8th place. No DRS down this second part of the straight, and Little Greavy will have to tuck in as GGJ and Joam is leading. Joam is leading the race. What's happened here? Joam has taken the lead. Unbelievable stuff here. So Joam must have mugged GGJ and Mike while they were battling, as we were watching the battle in the mid-pack there. And Joam now has P1 in this race. Can GGJ put the pressure on him and try and come back at him here? So this is now our 3-time champion of the F1 League leading the race. GGJ with DRS down the start finish straight, but he's far too back. He's too far back is what I mean to get anywhere near him coming into turn 1. And Joam here has gone from 15th on the grid up into the lead in a space of 10 laps. But GGJ has got pace to fight him. We know that for sure. GGJ isn't a million miles off of Joam's pace, so can he keep up with him here and put him under a bit of pressure? Obviously Joam on the hard tyres, so it's going to be extremely difficult here for GGJ to be able to match him here in the second stint, because Joam will be on the mediums and will have the quicker tyre for the second part of the race, as GGJ will have DRS here coming down towards the chicane once again. But Joam, what a performance so far here in this race. He has been flying here in this opening stint, as V10 Ultra there, just sitting on the timing board, has got a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. But GGJ just trying to come back at Joam here, as we see Matty Pitts still battling on the back of HD Baguette. Street Boy's got into 10th place ahead of V10 Ultra, so that's a move for the final points paying position there for Street Boy. But V10 Ultra still on the back of him, might be able to come back at him here. Blobby Butler and Mr. Basil here fighting over 12th place as well. But Joam has now gapped GGJ by over a second here, so GGJ's target here is going to be to stay ahead of Mike at this point, because Mike is within a second of him at the moment. But is Joam just going to drive away now? Now he's got the lead of the race. It's been an incredible first 10 laps here for Joam, and the result of it is that he's P1 in this French Grand Prix, racing as a reserve here tonight. Obviously we all know who he is, but yeah, absolutely superb stuff from him, as we see V10 Ultras coming into the pits to make his pit stop at the end of lap 10. So he's going to change from the hards, from the mediums, I assume, onto the hards. We've got 10 of you currently watching the stream, guys. If you're enjoying what you're watching, please do smash the like button and subscribe to the Motive Racing channel if you haven't already. If you're watching for the first time, then be sure to go to www.motiveracing.com and get yourselves involved in the action out on track. There's currently Matty Pitt here on the back of HD Baguette but still not able to make a move. HD Baguette's been holding on for that P5 for a considerable number of laps now, as Joam continuing to pull out his gap to these two, GGJ and Mike. And Joam looking in cruise control right now, I've got to say. Blobby Butler is still just ahead of Mr. Basil at the moment. You can see there 0.3 of a second separating them as they're coming down the second part of the straight. Obviously on ACC, which I was commentating on Wednesday night for a GT3 Sprint League, we actually you actually don't have the chicane in the middle of the straight, so the straight is about a mile long. But on the F1 game, it's sort of divided into two bits. So you've got a chicane in the middle of it. You've got Mike and Martin coming into the pits here at the end of lap 11. So Mike there putting the hard tyres on, and Martin... No, in fact, Mike... Hold on. Oh yeah, Mike was on the mediums to start off with. I think they were both on the mediums to start off with, so I think that's their pit stops now done. Polish My Balls coming in. I imagine the hard tyres will be going on for him as well. And yes, they do. Joam, in the meantime, has got nearly a 3-second lead out the front, so he is just cruising off into the distance here. Matty Pitt's still on the back of HD Baguette here as they're coming out onto the straight. DRS open here for Matty Pitt. Is he going to have a chance into the chicane? Just a little bit too far away, I think, at the moment. We'll get a bit of closing speed here coming into the braking zone. Looking to the outside, HD Baguette squeezing him to the outside. Matty Pitt just got there a little bit too late there, and he's got a 3-second time penalty, and that is harsh. That is really harsh, because he actually extended the track on the way into the corner. He would have gained next to nothing from that. Got squeezed off the track a little bit. I think it was fair racing from HD Baguette, but just unlucky there for Matty Pitt. Probably should have eased off of it to avoid going off the track. But he's now lost, obviously, 3 seconds of his overall race time here. And he'd need to get ahead of HD Baguette and pull 3 seconds to her if he were to take this position. Totally Zero on the back of Little Greavy, but I think Little Greavy's actually got ahead of Totally Zero here, so Little Greavy now can try and chase down the drivers up ahead as GGJ's into the pits here at the end of lap 12 and becomes the next driver to come in, so he should come out, I think, nearish to Mike actually. Where is Mike at the moment? Mike is just coming through into the final sector, and GGJ is out on track, is he already? I don't know, where is he? Where is GGJ? Yeah, that's not GGJ. There's GGJ coming out of the pits. Oh, and I'll tell you what, here is Mike. So Mike here has lost out to GGJ. GGJ comes out ahead of Mike, just about. GGJ here is still trying to attack on Street Boy here. Street Boy proving the thorn in the side for Mike, as Mike has obviously pitted and Street Boy hasn't. And Mike trying to go for a cutback here on the back of Street Boy. Street Boy there covering everything off at the moment. Mike will have DRS though down this little straight which leads towards the chicane, and he should be able to get the move done, I think, here. But the thing is, Street Boy has DRS on GGJ as well, and Mike has to get out of there, and Mike's going to be out of the race! Oh, he hits the wall, and he's done there for the session. What a shame for Mike! Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I could see that coming from a mile off. Oh, we got that on board as well. I think that's the... It's not many times that I've actually got a driver crashing out of the race and been on board with him at the time. But nonetheless, Mike Gaming, or not Mike Gaming, sorry, Mike PK. No, it's not the same guy as the guy who races on Project Cars. But yeah, Mike out of the race here on lap 13. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. It's just that I was laughing at something completely separate, completely unrelated. I tell you what, IHG Baguette and Matty Pitt could get a free pit stop here onto the medium tyres and come out ahead of GGJ as well. So this could be a huge opportunity for these two to get into the fight for the podium places here. Joam comes in, puts the medium tyres on. I think it's safe to say Joam's going to run away with this one in the second stint, but HG Baguette and Matty Pitt could potentially get themselves into a podium position here. Medium tyres will be going on Matty Pitt's car as well as HG Baguette, so my voice just cracked there, that was really weird. But yeah, currently these two are going to come out back on track. GGJ does actually stay ahead of them, so GGJ there into P2, but these two are going to have the faster tyres for the final part of this race. The mediums usually, I'd say around this circuit, probably about half a second quicker than the hards. So if their pace is sort of within a reasonable amount of GGJ's, theoretically you'd think that he should be able to keep up with them. Or they should be able to keep up with GGJ. And maybe put him under a bit of pressure here in the final part of this race. I mean, it's unlikely. I think realistically, actually, I think that they should probably... I think that GGJ should be alright, because I think he's probably got, and it's no offence to either of those two, but I think his pace is probably north of half a second in terms of his overall sort of potential. I think it's north of half a second faster than these two, so GGJ should be alright, but you know, it could be a race on, could be a battle on for the podiums, you never know. But yeah, lap 14 here of 27 for the French Grand Prix here at Motive. Just going to quickly go and turn the light on because it's getting dark in here. It gets a little bit later every single time. Remember in the Red Bull Ring it was early in the race, this time it's midway through, so it's getting a bit later every time I have to turn the light on, obviously, as it would, because we're getting closer to midsummer. But one sec guys, anyway, I just need to go and turn it on. So Polish My Balls has left the session, obviously out of the race, and we've lost Mike and Polish My Balls here from this race, which is obviously a massive shame. Bennett's jumped in the session, but obviously he's too late. The race started 14 laps ago, around 20 minutes ago, so he's not going to be able to race, but he can watch and see how it unfolds here. So we're on the safety car here at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. We're going to do at least one more lap under the safety car. I think we should be going after the end of this lap, so we'll have 12 laps to the end with Joam on fresh medium tyres. GGJ the only runner in the top 10 on the hard tyres, obviously because he started on the mediums, has to do a stint on two different tyre compounds. But I think he should be alright, because I think his pace over the guys behind is pretty strong. The one driver who I think we've got to watch out for, or rather three drivers I think who we've got to watch out for, HT Baguette, Matty Pitt and Little Greavy. Little Greavy especially I think could put pressure on GGJ here for P2. I reckon Jelma is going to drive off into the distance. I can't see anybody really stopping him unless GGJ gets a really strong start and puts him under pressure straight away and finds a way ahead. I don't think that Jelma is going to have any issues winning this race, but the big question here is Little Greavy. I think Little Greavy could potentially get himself in front of HG Baguette and Matty Pitt, because I've seen before in this race that Little Greavy's got some really strong pace here around this circuit. I mean, we saw in the first stint, but he's also prone to a mistake as well That's the one thing that could potentially hold him back here, is that he has got the odd mistake in him around this circuit. We've seen it a couple of times tonight already, and that could be his undoing. But I think he's got the pace to get onto the podium. I think he could have the pace for P2 here in this race. And never say never, because you never know, GGJ might be able to get a jump here on Joe Arm and put him under pressure here on the restart. Maybe we won't be seeing a fight for the win, but I can't see it personally. I don't think it's going to happen, but we shall see. Seb there saying in the comments, what's your opinion on the F1 esports cheating scandal? I actually saw Limitless's video earlier about one of the drivers. He was following one of his laps, and it looked a little bit strange because, like, he was making the points on his video. He was saying about how there was a driver who was making tons of mistakes, hitting the wall, oversteer, mistakes that should be costing you time on a lap, and they weren't really costing the dude. It did look a bit strange. But I don't think he's the only one doing it. I don't know. They were suggesting that they might have to move on to console for the esports, which probably is the best way to go, because on PC there's just so many customizable mods on the PC, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they start moving that over to the console. As we can see there, Bobby Butler going a bit deep into turn 1 but staying ahead of the grid for the time being. But Joe has already opened up over a second of a gap here over GGJ right now. As Martin is looking to try and put Street Boy under a bit of pressure here on this restart as well. But no real changes at the front at the moment. I was saying before, the man I've got my eye on has got to be Little Greavy in P5. He's knocking on the door of HD Baguette and Matty Pitt, but still can't make anything happen, as Matty Pitt there getting a little bit wrong there coming into the chicane. Little Greavy's going to be creeping a bit closer to him here as we're coming down the second part of the straight, and Little Greavy here has got an enormous straight line speed advantage, and he looks to the inside here of Matty Pitt and he gets it done easily there. Matty Pitt flat out there through this right hander as he's trying to get back up onto him here, but Little Greavy up into P4 and Matty Pitt trying to come back in, took it to the inside, but Little Greavy covers him off, shuts the door on him there. And Little Greavy up into P4, gets that one done nicely there. HTV gets still within a second just about of GGJ, but I think GGJ will start to pull away from these guys. I reckon our best hope of a battle for P2 is going to be Little Greavy. Well, HTV gets keeping to the coattails of GGJ, to be fair. As Joam there absolutely blasting away at the front. He's got a 2-second gap already over GGJ. He's absolutely flying off into the distance here. And yeah, he's basically got this race signed and sealed. I think, barring any more safety cars in this race, I think it's bye-bye, see you later, have a good one, hasta la vista. But Matty Pitt here creeping a bit closer to Little Greavy, so obviously no DRS available just yet. He's looking down the inside here into the chicane. Little Greavy though has a lot better straight line speed, and Matty Pitt trying to use the slipstream. If he had a DRS there, I think he'd have got ahead of him. But Matty Pitt's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that's going to cost him at the end of this race. He's already got 1 time penalty. In fact, now that we're in the final stint, we can get the penalties up on the screen, so we don't really need to know what tyres people are on. We can see visually what tyres they're on. We don't really need to know how long they've been on the tyres for, because they're all on the tyres that can get them to the end of the race anyway, so we don't really need that graphic anymore. But Matty Pitt there is with a 6-second penalty. Joam at the front has got a 3-second time penalty. As things stand, that will not change the result for him. HTB staying just about a second behind GGJ, actually matching GGJ on that last lap. So these two very closely matched when GGJ is on the slower tyre, but I think I'd say he's just a little bit quicker than HTB at the moment. But as this stint wears on, as those mediums, or rather as those hard tyres keep the wear off, I think that GGJ will start to pull out a little bit more by the time we get to the closing laps of this race, because the mediums will start to wear off a little bit towards the end. Not much, because they can easily go 12 laps without any dramas, but in the final couple of laps the performance will start to dip sufficiently, I think, for GGJ to be a bit more comfortable in that second spot. But again, this is all speculation. We don't know how the tyres are going to behave, we don't know what sort of performance the drivers are going to be able to extract. You know, these are all speculations, this is all ifs and buts and what ifs, but Matty Pitt here looking to the inside of Little Greavy into the chicane, but Little Greavy has got more than enough in hand at the moment to stay ahead of him. But these two are dropping off of HD Baguette quite a bit. HD Baguette, well actually, saying that, Little Greavy got a much better run out of there than HD Baguette did. The gap now dipping under a second between HD Baguette and Little Greavy. So did HD Baguette make a mistake? She is ghosting at the moment, so has HD Baguette disconnected here? She is going very slowly, and I think she might have disconnected or at least left the session. Yeah, HD Baguette's got a problem. So what has happened here? So HD Baguette, she is now basically stopping. She's now back in the session. But she is absolutely tumbling down the order here. What has gone on? Oh, and that's gutting for HD Baguette. She was on course for a podium here tonight. But she's losing out now to Street Boy as well, and potentially Martin's going to come through and move himself through up into 7th place. HD Baguette's still in front of him at the moment. And there we go, she's back in the car now. You can see that Aston Martin solidifies going into turn 1. But Martin making his way through, so she's down in 8th place. And that was pretty much the last thing that she needed here. Matty Pitt is on the back of Little Greavy in this battle for the final podium place now. Joram out front with a 5-second gap over GGJ. Further 3 seconds back to this battle which we're watching here between Little Greavy and Matty Pitt. As here goes Matty Pitt now as Eggman has DNF from the race. He's out of this one. Matty Pitt moves through up into the final podium place there ahead of Little Greavy. Totally Zero there in 5th ahead of Street Boy. There's Martin ahead of HD Baguette. A few seconds further back to Mr. Basil, who's running in 9th place. Then a few seconds further back to the Grieve. Blobby and V10 Ultra rounding out the classification here so far in this one. But Little Greavy all over the back of Matty Pitt right now as they're coming through into the final sector of the lap. As we've got double waved yellow flags through sector 1, I'm not quite sure what those are for at the moment. Little Greavy here with DRS coming down the start finish straight. They're just a bit too far back coming into turn 1 just at the moment. Totally Zero still on the back of Little Greavy. Little Greavy just about within a second of Matty Pitt at the moment as they're coming down towards the chicane. Getting a bit of closing speed there. Totally Zero still on the back of him as well. Street Boy there ahead of Martin and HD Baguette. So a big battle here all the way from 3rd down to 8th place. You've got basically 6 drivers in a line here. You can see them all in the shot right now. Matty Pitt's still heading this train. Street Boy's just dropped off of Totally Zero a little bit. Little Greavy trying to get a run here on Matty Pitt. These guys having an absolutely brilliant battle here. HD Baguette on the back of this train now, trying to recover some of the places which she lost with that mistake a few laps ago. Well, not mistake, but disconnected or something happened, not sure what. Caused her to lose places here. As we see Totally Zero right on the back of Totally Zero, but Totally Zero with DRS on Little Greavy. Sorry, on Matty Pitt. Little Greavy with DRS on Matty Pitt is able to defend here from Totally Zero into turn 1. Little Greavy didn't get a great run coming out of turn 2, but neither did Totally Zero, to be fair. Still as you were between all of these guys. It's in the background, you can see the rest of them all filing through your shot there into the turn 3 and 4 chicane. And Matty Pitt still sat in your final podium place right now as they're coming back out onto the straight again. And Matty Pitt getting a better run there through that section of the track. Totally 0k within half a second of Little Greavy. Little Greavy though with the DRS on Matty Pitt, just creeping close to the back of the Williams. Totally 0 very deep there going into the first part of the chicane. HTB still trying to put this pressure here on the back of Martin, but the thing is, it's so hard to do anything when you're in a DRS train and everybody in front of you's got DRS on the car ahead of them, and there's just nothing you can do. It's the most frustrating experience. One race that always stands out to me was Imola last year. Lewis Hamilton sat in 14th for the entire race, couldn't make a move because he was sat in a train of cars, all of whom had DRS on the car in front. It just looked like basically a nightmare. As Little Greavy's picked up a 3-second time penalty there for track limit warnings. Oh, he went off the track. He had 4 wheels off very briefly there onto the blue strip, and he's got a 3-second time penalty. But as it stands, he'll still get ahead of Matty Pitt into the final podium place. But Totally 0 running in 5th place has not got a time penalty, so he will gain places on both of these two. As it stands, Totally 0 could be on the verge of a podium position here. What a great result that'll be for him. So currently Totally 0 in a position where he'll take the podium places. He doesn't need to take risks, he doesn't need to make the move. But does he want to make the move? Does he want to get it done on track? Because Little Greavy getting closer and closer to back of Matty Pitt into the chicane. Little Greavy knows he needs to get ahead of Matty Pitt and try and pull a gap to Totally 0, but can he do it? Has he got the pace to do so? These guys are 4 seconds behind GGJ, who's running in 2nd place. Currently has got the measure of these guys. Joram out the front has got 10 seconds over GGJ and is absolutely disappearing off into the distance here. What a drive it's been from our 3-time champion of Motive Racing's Formula 1 League. What a return to the league. We saw earlier on, made a one-off appearance at Miami and he absolutely blitzed it there as well. Dennis Becky kind of kept him sort of on the same page, but wasn't able to fight him too much. V10 Ultra is retired from the session, so he's out of this one here on lap 22 with just 5 laps left to go. What a shame there to lose him so late on. We'll go back to this battle here for 3rd place, the final podium place. Currently Totally 0 has it in the bag with the time penalties going the way of Matty Pitt and Little Greavy. So V10 Ultra there has left the session. Unfortunately for him, he's out of this race. It'll be looking closer to the back of Matty Pitt coming into the chicane. You've got them all filing through your shot there. It'll be looking to the inside here down the end of the back straight. He's going to go for the move there on Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt just covers him off though. And a bit of a slide there from Totally 0 in the background. The last thing he needs is to make a mistake because he's currently got 3rd place. As I said before, all he needs to do is bring it home and he's got P3 in the bag. He just needs to not get drawn into any dogfights here with these two in front of him. He needs to try and keep himself out of trouble. We're on board with a Mercedes here coming out of the final corner. 4 laps left to go here. It's Joram leading the race by 12 seconds ahead of GGJ. Here come Matty Pitt, Little Greavy and Totally 0. See Street Boy looking to the inside of Tony Zero into the chicane there, but just a little bit too far back at the moment. This Little Greavy here getting a bit of a run out of the chicane, coming down towards this flat out right hander where it's almost impossible to make a move unless you've got a fair amount of your car ahead, but he's going to make it move anyway. I tell you what, Little Greavy, balls, got a very, very ballsy move there as he moves through ahead of Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt, they're going for the cut back there, squeezing back ahead of him again, and these two having a great little dice. Matty Pitt there maintaining that final podium place by the skin of his teeth here. Little Greavy can't make it stick. Tony Zero's gone straight on. What's happening here to Tony Zero? Is he retiring the car? What's going on? Tony Zero is retired, or he's pulled over or something. What is he doing? Oh no! What's happened there to Tony Zero? He just pulled off to the side and let everybody through. As Matty's got Little Greavy hassling him coming into turn one. Street Boys now dropped off of these two, so I think it's between these two, Matty and Little Greavy, but obviously with the time penalties it will go the way of Little Greavy by the time we get to the checkered flag. I'm so confused. What was Totally Zero doing there? It's like he just gave up. He was just thought, nope, I've had it. I'm done. Adios. HDU we get here sat in 7th place at the moment. I'm just looking at the timing board here. As things stand, HDU Baguette would actually finish in 3rd place, I think. She's within 3 seconds of Little Greavy and Street Boy, and she's within 6 seconds of Matty Pitt. But she needs to make a move here, I think. She needs to get ahead of Martin and Street Boy quite quickly if she is to stay within that catchment. She needs to get a move on here, otherwise she won't be in that in that range anymore. Little Greavy in the meantime is going to look around the outside of Matty Pitt here, but Matty Pitt's going to cover him off beautifully. And Matty Pitt there, just an exemplary display of defensive driving, holding on by the skin of his teeth there. But HD Baguette, I think, might just about be within that that 3 second range of Little Greavy. Can Matty Pitt hold Little Greavy off and potentially get HD Baguette onto the podium here? It's going to be close, I'll tell you that. It's going to be a close run thing. It's constantly developing, this battle here, as they start the penultimate lap. As we see, Joram's got another penalty, so 6 seconds there on his record right now. I mean, he's got enough in hand. He should be alright. Little Greavy in the meantime is making a move on Matty Pitt into 3rd place, down the inside into turn 1. Obviously, he'll get it on the time penalties anyway, but that will help him out because HD Baguette could potentially be the thorn in his side. But right now, he's got, what is it? He's got about 3 seconds to HD Baguette. So as it stands, he needs to pull out a little bit more. Matty Pitt, though, still there, can still give Little Greavy a little bit of hell and might be able to deny him with his podium position here. Matty Pitt is right on the back of him here as we're coming out onto the straight with DRS open. I think Matty Pitt's going to be getting past him again here as we come down towards the chicane. Here we go. DRS open. He's looking down the inside as Little Greavy defends. Matty Pitt looking around the outside into the chicane. Little Greavy holds on and still keeps on to 3rd place for the time being. Close stuff there from those two, but Little Greavy getting his elbows out just enough there. But the question is HD Baguette within 3 seconds of Little Greavy right now? She's behind Street Boy and Martin, so she can't really do much at the moment. Her hope now is that Matty Pitt can get ahead of Little Greavy and hold him up or stop him from being able to keep that 3 second gap to HD Baguette. But HD Baguette could be in for a load of positions gained here at the end of this race. As Joram comes into turn 1 for the final time in this race. He is on the final lap of the race. But can Matty Pitt here find a way through ahead of Little Greavy as they're coming out of the final corner? And they're starting lap 27. Joram here coming out onto the back straight into the chicane. So we've got basically half a lap left to go here at Paul Ricard. There's GGJ running in 2nd place. He's currently well ahead of this battle here, which is still continuing to rage on. Little Greavy, I think, is now out of that 3 second range to HD Baguette. So as things stand, he will take 3rd place. But it's going to be a very, very close, I think, to the end of this race to see what's going to happen here. Matty Pitt getting closer and closer to the back of him into the chicane, but not close enough. And has to tuck in for the time being. What about HD Baguette? She's still stuck behind Martin. So I think that Little Greavy might just have enough here. I think Little Greavy's just outside that 3-second range, and he'll be able to pull away in this final sector with clear air. HDB gets stuck behind Street Boy and Martin still, as Joram here is coming out the final corner and up towards the line. It's going to be the victory here for Joram, our 3-time champion of the Formula 1 League here at Motive Racing on a reserve appearance tonight. He absolutely obliterates everyone, just like he did in Miami earlier this season. His return to the league is a very impressive one. GGJ coming up towards the line. It's going to be a second place for him. Best of the rest, as Street Boy's got ahead of Martin up into 5th place. But Little Greavy's going to come up towards the line to take the final podium place. He won't get it overall though, because Matty Pitt... No, he will get it overall because he is ahead of Matty Pitt. So Little Greavy 3rd, Matty Pitt 4th. Street Boy over in P5. Street Boy, Matty Pitt and Martin all lose out to HD Baguette, who gets P4 on the time penalties like we predicted. Street Boy 5th, Matty Pitt 6th. Totally Zero gets 7th due to Martin's penalty. So Martin drops to 8th place. Mr. Basil takes 9th, with Blobby Butler over to take the final point in P10. What a race that was, as Totally Zero says that his TV switched off. That was why he went wide and stopped the car for about 10 seconds. So that has cost him potentially a podium in this race. That is gutting there for Totally Zero. He needs to make sure that he turns his volume up before the start of the race. But the Grieve here coming out of the final corner is going to take P11 in this French Grand Prix. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen, here at Paul Ricard for round 11 of the Formula 1 League here on the AA Sports F1 game. Joram 22 on his return to the league, taking the victory in emphatic fashion. It's something we got used to seeing when he was racing as a regular racer, when he was on his way to 3 championships. And here at Paul Ricard tonight, he's once again shown that he is the best Motive F1 racer we probably ever had, racing in a Mercedes tonight as opposed to the Red Bull, which he always used to race in. But yeah, absolutely great stuff there from Joram. In the end, wins the race by, well, 10 seconds on the classification, but 16 seconds was his actual gap. And if you look at the fastest lap there, he was over a second a lap quicker than anybody else, albeit he was on the medium tyres in the final stint. I reckon GGJ probably could have been a little bit closer to that time if he'd been on the mediums at the end, but even so, what a performance there from Joram. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. If you guys did enjoy, then please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to get involved in the action, then go to www.motiveracing.com and click the links which will get you onto our Discord server. You can join the leagues through there. And yeah, join us next week for round 12. And yeah, we'll see you also on Sunday for the GT3 Championship on ACC. Following that, we'll be back on Project Cars 2 on Tuesday night for the Clear Cup. Wednesday, we're back on ACC again for the Sprint League, and also Thursday for the Touring Car Championship on Project Cars 2. And then back here again next week at Hungary for round 12 of the season. But yeah, thanks everybody once again. We'll see you all later. Have a good evening, and bye bye.